my friends, and welcome back to the Inspired Hustler, where I have another hustler that inspires me. I'd like you to meet my friend Marjorie. Tell us all
Hello.
about yourself.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I'm originally from the Midwest, and I have lived in California, and I've traveled to like 20 different countries, and I've had a pretty good life, except for a long spell where I had chronic illness, mostly Lyme disease and co-infections. And the Lord healed me, and I decided that I couldn't return to corporate work after that, and started doing a lot of volunteering, and came across some technologies that helped me maintain my wellness and get my daughter well because she had Lyme also. And then, so for the last 8 years, I've been sharing my healing tools, my wellness tools with people who have all sorts of illnesses, not just Lyme, people who have chronic pain or sleep issues or memory issues. Yeah, so I've been blessed to be able to do what I do.
I love that. I met your daughter, and I got it. I want to know everybody's life. Like I'm a people person, so I want to know everybody's life and all about them. And as I got to chatting with her, and we were talking about all the fun. She's written a book, and I'm like, you need to come to my podcast. She goes, oh, let me tell you what my mom does. She tells me all about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to talk to her. So when I heard that you are big in this like kind of holistic world that I very much believe in, I'm like, I have to talk to you. And I noticed just as I had this conversation with your daughter, we hadn't even spoken yet. My whole social media feed became all of this kind of, conspiracy about Lyme disease, how
Um,
these ticks are being just dropped and planted in different places. And I'm like, that's so funny. We just had this conversation, which I don't think there's any such thing as privacy, but I do think it's very interesting that the second that I become interested in something, everything around me starts showing up with like, oh, here's what you need. So when I got to chat a chance to chat with you and talk to you a little bit about this and get your journey, tell me what you're doing right now for people with specifically Lyme, and you can get into all of the other things as well. But tell me what that looks like when somebody comes to you and says, I think I have Lyme. There's no explanation for all these symptoms. What's your first protocol?
well, first, it helps if they do get lab work, but the labs aren't always accurate. And so
Mm,
I have the ability to do a scan of their energetic field because
mm-hmm.
everything in nature has a signature frequency. And so, though my tools are not diagnostic per se, it can narrow down what's going on in one's body.
Mm-hmm.
People come to me and they've been told they have Lyme when in actuality they have parasites, or vice
Ah.
versa. They're told they have parasites and I find they have Lyme. Sometimes they have both.
Mm,
But I can also take a look at what's happening with their organs, with their nutrients. And what I like to do is help boost the immune system.
mm-hmm.
Our bodies are made to heal. We just have to give them a little cellular voltage. And then all
Mm-hmm.
sorts of great things happen. Infections can be fought, and nutrients can be absorbed, and waste can be excreted better detoxification. So all we need is just a little battery charger for the cell.
That
And
sounds
so
way too easy. That sounds way too simple for somebody, who's, and I'm not. I'm blessed to have really good health. I've been vegan most of my life. I've been a distance runner most of my life. Like I'm blessed to be in really good health. But I meet a lot of women especially that are not in good health, that are like, I'm having all of these like chronic just problems just stacked one on top of another. And I think you kind of lose track of where this even started. It's just one thing after another. Do you see this pretty often?
yeah, it tends to be kind of this cascade, especially
Mm,
when you start introducing medications, and then you've got to deal with the side effects of the
mm-hmm,
medications. And next thing you know, you're on seven different meds and
mm-hmm,
you can't figure out what's causing what. So, what happened with my daughter was over the course of the summer, we got her off the meds because she felt so much better. But you have to gradually get off the medications. But that's when a lot of the healing happened was, just getting to a point where she didn't need all the toxicity
mm,
meds. So yeah, so when people come to me, we try to assess what is really going on.
mm-hmm.
And we, at first, the very first thing we do is calm the nervous system. when our nervous system is in that sympathetic fight or flight mode,
Mm-hmm.
well, no healing's going to happen. And so I usually just, get people calm down. I have a program called Relax All on one of my devices and another
Mm,
one called Emotional Balance. And yeah, so we just try to calm the nervous system first, and then we start peeling away the layers of the onion, trying to get at, is this mold? Is this yeast? Is this
mm,
heavy metals? What exactly is poisoning and burdening the body? And
mm-hmm.
when you strip that away, all of a sudden you hear the symphony. I use the metaphor of our bodies are trying to play a symphony, but a heavy metal screamo band is in there
Mm-hmm.
creating this dissonance. And we want resonance, we want harmonics, we want everything to be in this beautiful, acoustically perfect music concert hall, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's what we're trying to do is just create this beautiful um, optimization of the organs and the tissues and the cells. And yeah, just really the only thing people have to do is drink water. Is water is what attracts the frequencies. It's conductive.
Mm,
And also, it's obviously very good at detoxing us. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, there's no needles. There's no. It's a very painless, easy protocol. So
Wow. So walk me through this. Somebody arrives and says, I'm not really sure. And rather than, so I know what my experience was many years ago with an energy worker. And she said, you're in fight or, this was news to me. I'd never heard of these things. She said, oh, you're in fight or flight. You're having an emotional imbalance. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she put me on this whole protocol, pulled me off coffee, pulled me off melatonin, and said, you need more sleep, you need less caffeine, and I put all these protocols into action, but I hadn't heard of this. So you're suggesting you can solve this all right at that time. Put them
um,
into put a device, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
In
So
order, and that's going to start this calming that happens right then. You're not coming back
yeah.
in 2 weeks once you've started a better sleep plan, or this is like instantaneous. You're going to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, so with the amp coil, which is a pulsed electromagnetic frequency, that involves holding something that looks like a giant pineapple ring. I call it a
Uh-huh.
golden lifesaver, and
Uh-huh.
it warms up a little bit, and you can feel the vibrations. You can hear some of the tones, but not in an annoying kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
It goes deep into the cells. And those are usually about half-hour sessions. There's a program called Harmonizer. And it does just that. It gives your nutrients some activation. It helps with neurotransmitters. It helps tune up your organs, and it helps
Mm.
boost your serotonin, but doesn't jazz you up. Another
Mm.
one of my devices is this is a portable wearable called the Healy. This is from Germany. This is a totally different company. This little thing is a frequency emitter, and
Mm-hmm.
it is operated by an app on the phone, and there are programs for mood, sleep, pain, cognition. Um, I used mine one time for a dental infection, right? I was in the middle of nowhere and I
Wow.
had terrible pain, and I used this. My daughter used it for a scorpion sting, and resolved that in about half the time. And yeah, I've used this for injuries. I actually had a groin pull during a tennis tournament, and I used the tissue repair program on the amp coil. And on the third day, 2 days of healing, the third day I won the tennis tournament. Praise the Lord.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I healed, and everybody told me, oh, groin pulls take 2 weeks. You're going to have to pull out of the tournament. I said, no, I'm going to win this tournament. And it was a 3-hour match. And I think
Wow.
I wore my opponent down because she was a better player, but I just was like, no, I healed, and I want to do this for God and my dad. So
Uh-huh. Oh, I love that. I've seen that. There's a gal that I know that I worked with in sales, and she wore one of those. And I
yeah,
had not seen that device before. And I said, "What is that?" She said, "Oh, it's sort of this frequency thing." And I'm like, "I'm very interested. What does it do?" And she's like, "Oh, lots of." She was like, "Never mind that. Let's just." She didn't
yeah,
really give me a lot of information on it, but that's really
yeah.
so. What
Oh,
does a device like this run somebody?
so the Healy starts at about 700,
Okay, so
and
not
for the
terrible.
yeah, it's I mean, when you think about what you're going to spend when you do
Yeah.
physical therapy, acupuncture, chiropractic, all the lab work you have to do, so it's really quite an easy way to enter the frequency world. The amp coil is more expensive because it is more powerful. I usually steer people toward the amp coil for chronic and multisystemic conditions.
Mm,
Um, this I think of as being more for the athlete or the well individual, although there are programs for Lyme.
Mm-hmm.
There is an extra cost for those. But yeah, this is fun to just have for travel. It helps with jet lag. It helps with gut issues. You can use
Mm,
programs for skin, for hair, for muscle regeneration and muscle
mm.
recovery from workouts, which I know you would appreciate.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I have other tools. I have like this little patch you wear that helps to stimulate the production of cells. So,
Tell me about that. Because I think I live in a world where I myself am very obsessed and now addicted to this whole peptide world, right? There's a
mm,
peptide for everything. And
yeah.
I started doing one a couple months ago. It's NAD. I started with patches and I went to the peptides, and it's a cellular regrowth. And
Mm,
there's a whole list, once you go down this rabbit hole, there's so many things. So this is something that sounds very similar, that rather than an injection or a patch, this is like taking it to a cellular level and allowing your body to regenerate rather than giving your body this regeneration. It's allowing your body to do the work. Is that right?
yeah, it reflects the body's heat and light and
Mm.
stimulates the copper peptide cycle.
Uh-huh.
Right. And so that's said to be what helps with stem cell production.
Mm-hmm.
And so the company, it's called LifeWave. They have a patch for energy. They have a patch for sleep. They have one called Ice Wave for pain. They have one that helps stimulate the production of glutathione, right?
Oh.
And they have ones for sports performance as well. So that's a great thing. I'll wear my patch, when I'm playing tennis or use
Uh-huh.
it to recover. If I got tennis elbow or something, I would just stick the Ice Wave on my elbow. So yeah, those are fun too. I wouldn't say that they are the primary tool for someone who's systemically chronically ill.
Sure. But for a
Yeah,
healthy person that's in good shape and competing, this would, and now is it a patch that you put a new patch on each day or each
yeah,
night, or is it,
yeah,
oh, it is something
yeah.
like that.
It's a
So
12
like
hour
you,
patch. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And it's just peel in place. The only thing you have to do is drink a lot of water. Same reason.
And do you replace the patch or is this you replace the patch every
Yeah.
12 hours? Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Some people try to wear them 2 days in a row to extend them a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, I think it's easier just replace it every day.
And
Uh,
what do the patches run? Well, for like a 30-day cycle?
yeah, 30 days. If you want to do just the energy enhancer, that's about $70 for 30 patches. The X39, which is the top of the line patch, that's closer to about 150 because it is a combination of the energy enhancer and
Uh-huh.
the ice wave and the glutathione and the carnosine.
Mm.
All these things are put into one patch called X39.
Well, I
So,
mean, that's cheaper than peptides. Like that's cheaper than
yeah,
peptides. That's cheaper than going to your doctor. That's like
yeah,
that's really, really affordable, especially for
yeah.
somebody in good health. So talk to me now about somebody who's not in good health. Like what's the protocol look like for somebody with just a stack of things that needs to get to the bottom of like where this come from? Where did it start?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I like to do the scan to get a sense
Uh-huh.
for where the burdens are in the body. Is it microbes? Is it metals? Is it
Mm.
toxins? Is it
Mm-hmm.
bacteria, yeast, viruses, fungi? And then really, again, just starting with calming the nervous system and then working to unburden the immune system from
Mm-hmm.
things that are toxic. And yeah, so I mean, I've helped people with broken bones even because pulsed electromagnetic frequencies help stimulate the production of osteoblasts. Osteoblasts is
Mm.
tissue. You can regenerate tissue. You can regenerate
Uh-huh.
nerves. And so I like to get them pain free, first of all.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's that chicken and egg, like, if we could reach the root cause of why
Right.
they have that pain, then they're more likely to have sustained wellness.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you're just constantly doing a band-aid of let's bring down your inflammation, let's bring down but if you're never getting to why are they inflamed?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing like people say, oh, I have chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia. Chronic fatigue
Oh my
syndrome,
gosh, yeah.
that's just a label. That's a
Uh-huh.
symptom. That is not a
Uh-huh.
disease, right?
Yeah.
Why are you chronically fatigued,
Uh-huh.
right? Same thing with fibromyalgia. Why do
Yeah,
you
can
have
you speak to
all?
that? I know so many people that tell me they have fibromyalgia. Can you speak to that specifically? Because I know there's people in our audience plagued with that are looking for an answer.
Yeah, I feel that fibromyalgia again is just a symptom name.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a catch-all, like we don't know what's wrong
Uh-huh.
with you, so we're going to say fibromyalgia. But I've helped a lot of people who were told they had FM, and it turns out that they had perhaps Lyme and co-infections, or they might have had
Mm,
mycotoxin illness, which is when
mm,
mold becomes toxic
mm-hmm,
to you.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, again, let's do what we can to bring down the inflammation, get people walking again or running
Mm-hmm.
back on the court, back on the field. Yeah, it's definitely uh, something we clear out the burden to the body.
No, I can think of three women off the top of my head that we just had a conversation about this.
Mm,
And their doctors don't know what to do.
mm,
One of them is she just started therapy, and I mean, which
mm,
is great. And I think it's bringing up a lot of past traumas, and that's only made her symptoms worse more
mm,
recently.
mm,
And I firmly believe like our diet has everything to do with this. And the
mm,
older I get, I think the more in line our society is with that. But I've
mm.
had a clean vegan diet for so long that that's what's normal to me. And I think for other people, that's a very foreign idea of
Yeah,
the way that I eat or the amount of water I drink. I drink more
yeah,
than a
yeah.
gallon of water a day. And
Do
same
you
thing,
really?
people are like,
Wow.
that's bananas. I'm like, it's fine. You're going to have to pee a lot. You're just going to have to get used to that. But
Yeah,
drinking this amount of water to make sure that our bodies are like 80% water, right? Like,
yeah,
isn't that kind of
yeah,
that's what we need? That and
yeah.
our, good food.
Yep, yep. And the whole thing about food is I really encourage people to be gluten-free,
Uh-huh.
dairy-free, sugar-free, alcohol-free.
Uh-huh.
The glyphosate, people don't understand. It's not so much the gluten, it's the glyphosate. It's what's
Tell
sprayed
me
on the
about
wheat.
that.
Well,
Uh,
glyphosate is an herbicide.
uh-huh.
It's in Roundup, and it
Uh-huh.
is what is sprayed on wheat and corn and oats. And
Mm,
when our bodies ingest that, it
mm-hmm.
punctures holes in our small intestine. It's called
Mm-hmm.
intestinal permeability or leaky gut syndrome. And
Mm-hmm.
as a result, the toxins go into our bloodstream and cause inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
I had headaches for 9 months. I stopped eating gluten. My headaches went away within a week.
Mm-hmm.
I reintroduced gluten. I had a headache in 20 minutes.
Oh, I
So,
can attest. So I'm very sensitive because I've ruled most foods out. I don't eat gluten. I kind of adhere to the Daniel diet, so I'll eat ancient grains, and I do eat oatmeal on occasion. But I noticed I have a girl at work that I run with, and I had three of my toes on my left side I sprained when I was a kid. They very rarely bother me, just every now and again. And 3 days in a row, I'm like, I can't run. My toes are just like in such pain. And so I started thinking, I know how to muscle test. I started thinking about this and praying about it. Like, what have I done differently? I'm like, it's the oatmeal. So I've found like there's a brand or two that if I eat that brand, like Bob's Red Mill, gluten-free, organic, doesn't
yeah,
seem to bother me. And I mix that with flax seeds and chia seeds and I'm fine. If I have any other brand, even if it says gluten-free, my toes bother me. It's like immediate inflammation. I feel it in my body.
you're
I
sensitive.
feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's really interesting that you brought that up because I think a lot of people have a gluten allergy now, right? I cut gluten out about 15 years ago. Just my sister decided she was going to cut it out. She has rosacea. And I said, I'm going to do that. She said, you're such a copycat. And I'm like, who cares? I'm just going to try it and see if I like it.
Yeah.
And when I tried to reintroduce and eat like a bagel, my body does not do well at all.
Yeah.
And I've noticed the same thing with sugar or
Yeah.
with anything else that I don't drink alcohol. I'm really try to adhere from sugar, but my
Yeah.
body has a really immediate reaction to it
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
think we kind of
And
poo-poo, but you're
yeah.
reinforcing this is a real
And
thing.
you have to be gluten free for 6 weeks. I tell people just be really
Mm.
strict for 6 weeks and see if it makes a difference because one bite of gluten will stay in your system for 6 weeks.
Oh, that's
So
really
yeah, so
interesting.
you just don't even cheat. You got to know that this works for
Uh-huh.
you. So yeah,
Well, and
yeah.
then I think if you feel so much better than like, so my grandson is familiar with the way that I eat, and I don't allow him to have any dairy. And anytime he's sick, I'm like, what'd you eat yesterday? And he goes, oh, you're not going to like this. We had pizza. And I'm like, you're old enough. He's almost 7. I'm like, you're old enough to know what you want to eat and what you don't want to eat. You have to know there's a cause and effect. And when you eat pizza, you get sick every single time. You don't like, you have to, that feeling has to outweigh that like 5 minutes of pleasure, whatever it is, because you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. It goes back to like our health altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. I say there's nothing that tastes as good as wellness feels.
Oh, yeah.
So you just always have to ask yourself, is this worth it? I have to look at chocolate as poison, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Otherwise, I would be eating it all day, you know? So,
Yeah, I found a couple. There's a brand that I've been using that's it's sugar-free chocolate. They're chocolate chips. It's sugar-free chocolate, and I use that whenever I'm baking stuff.
oh yeah.
They're like I get them at Sam's Club. They're advertised as like keto, but it has stevia. There's no sugar in it.
Hmm.
There's a few things that I feel like are a cheat, if you will.
Yeah.
But I found my way around most things that like I would like to enjoy,
Yeah.
and found a different way to make it.
That's great. Yeah. It sounds like you're doing everything right, girl. I'm
Well, I
telling
mean,
you.
I feel good for the
Mm.
most part, but I mean, I had the same conversation with you. You would, can you
Yeah.
can you repeat that story? You were telling me about a group you're in and how several other folks in your age group were having all these ailments.
Yeah, yeah. It just, I mean, maybe it's just the age and stage that we're at. We're also in an area of the country where there's a lot of stress. There's also a lot of 5G and,
Mm,
just a lot of technology and a lot of
mm-hmm,
addiction to
mm,
technology. I don't know if that's unique to the Washington, D.C. area, but yeah, it's just kind of hard because everybody's dealing with something.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
and in my church, I just want to help everybody. I read their stories in the bulletin, these prayer requests, and I'm
mm.
like, I could help you with that.
Right. And
So,
no, and well, you were telling me like so many of these things, everyone's like, oh, I have glaucoma, I have this. You're like, I don't have any of that.
yeah, oh yeah,
I think.
the cataracts and
Mm.
the hip replacements and the dental work. Oh my gosh, all the dental issues people are having.
And what
Um,
would you attribute that to?
Again, I believe it's toxicity. I
Mm,
think
mm, mm,
between
mm-hmm.
our air and our water, our
Uh-huh.
soil, and our soils are depleted of minerals.
Mm-hmm.
I think just this combination of toxicity and stress and infections, right?
Mm-hmm.
About 25% of people can't tolerate mold and it becomes a toxin to them. But yeah, I think we just have thousands of chemicals being introduced every year, and they are in your medicines, folks.
Uh-huh.
They're
Uh-huh.
in your prescriptions. There are preservatives in there, and there are colors, and they people who come to me when they've been on antibiotics for years or any medications for
Mm,
years, their number one organ that is of a priority is the combination is gallbladder and liver. The liver
mm,
does 200 functions. And if it's constantly having to detox and process these toxins, it can't do everything else it's supposed to do,
sure,
right?
sure.
So one thing we do is just tune up the gallbladder and liver. We do everything we can to support the gallbladder and liver.
Mm,
But yeah, I think we're in a toxic world and we have to do what we can to mitigate that.
yeah. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. So what's the protocol? You're in Washington, D.C. What's the protocol for somebody in California like me that says, I want more information and who do I go to since you're this far away? What would you recommend to that girl that I'm going to send you?
Oh, okay. So what I would say is try to find an AMCOIL ambassador. They're all over the world. They're in about 18 countries.
Okay.
You could find a practitioner. You could also find an ambassador is someone who will demo their device. Usually we
Okay.
do it for free. I never charge for demos. And then if they don't have access to someone like that, I do rent my devices. I can also, coach over the phone and do some remote work. But also, I would encourage them to take a look at the Healy and the LifeWave patches.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see what else. Yeah, just primarily let's assess, what they're willing to do also, because I want to know that someone's committed to healing. I don't, you
Mm-hmm.
can't dabble in wellness. You have to kind of
Yeah.
make it your full-time job for a
Both
little
feet in.
while until you
Yeah.
can get back to living your regular life. But yeah,
How
no.
many people do you see that get into this that say I have fibromyalgia as an example, and they try this machine, they're like, this changed my life. I've changed my diet. Obviously, you got to change your diet as well. You can't go along with standard American diet and expect to see
Yeah.
results. But let's say this person does all of that. How often do you see these folks become ambassadors and go, I want to go help everybody else now that I know what I know?
I would say, I've never really tracked that, but I would say that I've probably helped maybe 30 people become ambassadors.
Mm,
And it's not an MLM. I don't get any
uh-huh.
like credit or bonus for
Sure.
that. But
Personal satisfaction though, Marjorie,
oh
like
yeah,
that would just
it's
make my
cool.
day that somebody would want to come alongside and do what I'm doing. I mean, I know many years ago I bought my first house when I was 23 from my best friend at that time, her mom, and I was immediately like, I need my real estate license, and I've been a realtor ever since. Like it had that profound effect, and I was like, I want to be just like your mom. Like she knows what she's doing. I love her as a person. We worked together for many years. So I
Nice.
would only imagine like if this had such a profound effect, and I know that's how it was with my energy worker, she
Yeah.
cleared up a lot of things in me I didn't even know were things. And then I just
Mm.
started sending people. I'd meet somebody new. I'd meet them through real estate usually, and I'd say, "Hey, you need to go see this girl." And they'd say, "For what?" And I'd say, there's something wrong with you. I don't know what, but there's something wrong. You need to go see her. I'm going to
Trust
pay for
me.
your first visit. It was 125 then, and if you think it's all baloney, don't go back. If you think it works, go back. And she had 8 clients when I met her in like 2014, and she went from 8 to like 68 overnight and opened an office because so
Yeah,
many people just came in droves and were like, "Oh, I didn't even
yeah,
know. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what. I didn't know how to
yeah,
address it. I didn't know it would be this easy."
yeah,
Um, and she
yeah.
wasn't even using a machine. It was just a lot of supplements, muscle testing,
Mhm.
changing your diet, changing your sleep, getting off caffeine, getting
Yeah,
off alcohol, just the things that seem pretty obvious to
yeah,
you or me.
yeah,
But
that's
I
good.
would be curious as to how many people become ambassadors after going
Yeah,
through, like, that's
yeah.
life changing, if you're not
Yeah.
feeling well and now you feel great.
Yeah, no, it's fun, and people do share the word. Also, that happens with the Healy. A lot of people
Uh-huh.
acquire, and then they're wearing it, or people are like my tennis game has improved. But also, I've helped people with broken bones, but also a couple of young ladies who wanted to get pregnant are pregnant now, which is
Oh,
praise the Lord, because it's like this
yeah.
woman was so sick and now she's doing well. Many of my clients have gotten engaged and married. One couple called me up the night of their engagement, and I was like, "What's wrong? Why are you guys calling me so late?" And they're like, "We got engaged because she's well enough."
Oh, that's
Um,
amazing.
so yeah, that's fun. Again, broken bones, sprains, diabetes. Diabetes
Oh,
is we just support the stomach, spleen, and pancreas, and all sorts of great things happen.
so
Um,
have you helped people get off medication for diabetes? Somebody who has to stay on medication to regulate that. Is it the glucose in diabetes?
I have helped people reduce their insulin dependence.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't checked lately to find out if they're off the insulin, but
I have someone for you. He's very against modern medicine. It's one of my best friend's husbands. He has diabetes. He will
mhm,
not take any medication, and he's having
mhm,
a lot of problems, neuropathy in his legs, and
mhm.
a real lack of energy. And he doesn't want to see a regular doctor for reasons I completely understand. But I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you've got to do something to manage this.
Yeah, because he could have vision issues, and yeah,
He does. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, definitely would work on supporting the trio, the stomach, spleen,
Uh-huh.
pancreas, and just helping to regulate the blood sugars. Yeah, so you have help people with high blood pressure, cholesterol, high cholesterol. Insomnia is a huge one around here also.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes that's just a matter of turning your router off, your Wi-Fi router off at night, believe it or not.
Oh,
That
that's really interesting.
help people with digestion issues.
Mm-hmm.
Had a woman come to me with, she grew up in Russia and only ate potatoes her whole life, right? But
Uh-huh.
she never had good digestion. And so we ran some programs on her, maybe 3 times, 4 times. And she called me up one morning and she said, I enjoyed a meal last night. I had good digestion today. And she said, I think I've turned the corner. She's
Oh,
a neighbor, and she has not had to come back for digestion issues. So we
oh,
took
that's
care of that.
amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I could tell you lots of wonderful stories of how the Lord really has woven this into my life and
Hmm.
the lives of other people. So,
Oh, it's funny. When I asked her daughter, I said, "Tell me about your mom and what she does." And she started telling me all about it. She goes, "I got to tell you this though. She loves Jesus." Said, "We're going to be a great pair." That sounds wonderful. I love that because I firmly believe we all have a purpose here. I like that's what I think we're supposed to be doing, and obviously our Creator gave us that purpose. So I think when you're living within that purpose, you're on fire. You're on fire because you're
yeah,
living within it and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
yeah,
And I think this is a challenge to like to find that because if you are lethargic and you have insomnia and you're not sleeping and you're not digesting, how could you possibly feel good enough to find your purpose, to find your calling? Like I
yeah,
can't imagine.
yeah,
So yeah, I would encourage people that if you are not feeling like tip top, if you're not sleeping well, if you're not finding that you're within your purpose and you're living just a life on fire, call Marjorie. We're gonna link all of your links below so that everybody knows how to get in touch with you. But maybe tell us what the easiest way to get in touch with you is, and everything will be linked as well.
I would say start with my phone number. Is that okay to give my
Yeah,
phone number?
perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So it's 703-615-6661.
And I can attest she answers texts and calls back, which I think in our world is not everyone. It's just not. My phone is only ever on silent when I'm sleeping. Like I'm up at 4 in the morning. I go to the gym early. So I'm like, I'm pretty available the majority of days, but yeah, call, text. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
great. Call or text Marjorie, set up an appointment regardless of where you live, set up a consultation, and then you could help somebody get in touch with an ambassador in their area. Or perhaps it's somebody who doesn't have somebody in our area that is available, but they buy a machine and they can become a resource to a lot of other people in that way then.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I have a pretty large network and love to get people connected. That's one of the things I like to do is just um, when I used to lead a support group, I didn't let anybody leave alone. I always made sure they connected with someone that would, be their partner, their friend in their Lyme journey. So,
Yeah, no, I think that's really important. I haven't personally experienced Lyme either, but I know other people that have. I think a huge percentage of our population is affected by parasites and are just
yeah,
unaware that such things
yeah,
even exist, right?
yeah, yeah.
Which we had a bout with this just within our family, and my daughter, not real daughter-in-law, but I refer to her as that, but she had said, I want everybody to do this cleanse because her baby got it and she wanted everybody to do it. I did it. And I'm like, well, there's no difference. She's like, no, everybody in our family had parasites. I'm like, I don't eat like you guys. So it's going to be very different for me. I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy. I have a different diet.
Yeah.
But I think the majority of the population is affected by one of these things and is probably just unaware.
Yeah, yeah. Parasites are in everything from sushi to, well, raw cookie dough, of course,
Uh-huh.
pork, and yeah. I mean, but I almost ingested a parasite when I was eating raspberries from a farm. So,
Oh, wow.
they're really
It could be
everywhere.
in anything and
Yeah,
everything. And
yeah.
is a healthy body able to fight that parasite, or do they live within you until you do some kind of parasite cleanse?
You need to kick them out. You can do it herbally with Mimosa pudica, or you can use my devices.
What about this Levectrum? I see a lot of that online, the horse stuff that you get at Tractor Supply that's supposed
Oh,
to
the
kill
ivermectin?
parasites. Yeah.
Ivermectin? Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, yeah. That is pretty hard to tolerate.
Mm,
My daughter was on it and she stopped without telling me because it made her so miserable.
really?
Um, and yeah, you have to get a prescription for that or get it
No, you can
from
get it
the
from the Tractor Supply.
the equestrian center or something. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could try that. I had a woman who did oral antiparasitics for 9 months, came to me, we did the parasite cleanse, one session. The next morning she had a bowl full of worms. So if you want to edit this part
Wow.
out, but she said
No,
I
no,
was,
I think people need to know this because it's
yeah.
interesting. I've done that stuff from Tractor Supply, and I did another one that we got online because my, not real daughter-in-law was so like everybody has to do this. The baby has them, everyone has them.
Hmm.
But I didn't have anything. I've
Yeah.
never, I mean, I hear about it and I believe it's a real thing.
Yeah.
I think my diet's so clean. I just haven't been affected with that before.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if the standard American diet that most people are ingesting
Yeah. Yeah.
wouldn't lead to parasites.
And if you are a pet owner, you
Mm.
probably have parasites.
Oh,
And
interesting.
yep, I'm telling you, people come to me and stuff shows up in their scan, and I'm like, do you have animals at home? Because I see toxoplasmosis in women who own cats.
Ah,
Cat scratch fever is Bartonella. I see that. And in pet owners, they usually have some sort of tick-borne, flea-borne, vector-borne illness.
interesting. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
really interesting.
yeah, yeah. Don't sleep with your pets, folks. Sorry.
I'm always saying I love animals at other people's houses. Like I am not, my OCD is too off the charts for me to have inside animals. It's just not for me. It's just not.
Yeah,
I like everything very nice and tidy, and I found that too hard to do with inside animals. So I've
yeah,
chosen not to have that. But
yeah,
that's really, I didn't even consider that that could be something that a lot of people would be affected by with
yeah,
I have a
yeah,
lot of people I want to send your way. And I would
yeah.
love to be part of the network, however I could help spread this message,
Thank
help
you.
you, help other people that need the help, really, because I think this is just so easy in comparison to all of the other standard Western medication
Yeah,
theories that are out there in way of money, and, the cost and the route of effectiveness. I think this is a
yeah,
really good one.
yeah. I think we saved $25,000 the first year
Oh,
because
I would
there,
imagine. Yeah.
yeah, four people in our family, and yeah, my husband avoided back surgery, and I avoided a root canal, and my daughter didn't have to go to all these adjunctive supportive therapists,
Mm,
and yeah, it was huge cost savings. All the lab work we didn't have to have
uh-huh.
done. So yeah, yeah, it
Oh, I
it
would
paid
only
it paid for
imagine.
itself in 1 year.
Oh,
So
I would only imagine.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I
like
think
it
this
paid for
is
itself in 3 months.
I
So
will, yeah. So I think my goal now is to get all my friends that are afflicted by something, or those that I'm pretty close to that are afflicted by something, to, consult with you, see you, put something together so that we can have a regroup on, what they came to you with, how they're doing, and what that protocol looked like. Because
yeah.
I think I mean, that's how I was able to grow Donna's practice from 8 people to 68 kind of overnight. It was like,
Mhm.
look, this works. Let's just figure it out. Let's get everybody in here. If you are suffering from fibromyalgia, you think you have a parasite, insomnia, or, the standard stress that everybody seems to be under,
Yeah.
if that's affecting you more than you feel like it should, and you're not able to live within your purpose and just be on fire and go run and exercise, because I hear that from a lot of people too. They're like, I want to exercise. I haven't felt right and I don't sleep right.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, I'm just getting old. Well, you don't have to be old and in pain, they don't
yeah.
necessarily go together.
No, agree. Agree. I hear people all around me all the time say that, well, I'm getting old. And I'm like, you're 40. Shut up. Like, I'm so much older than you.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. You're 40.
Yeah.
That's not even
Yeah.
old.
You can
You
be
should
old
be
at
able to feel
70 or
great.
you
Yeah,
can be
right.
old at 70 or young at 80. So
Yes, no, I'm planning to be young and 80. Yes, for sure.
great
Well,
to
such
talk
a
to
such a
you.
pleasure to get to know you. Leave your phone number one more time and then we'll have all the links below.
Okay, 703-615-6661.
Thank you so much, Marjorie.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate you. Okay,
You
until next
too.
time.